What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new football transfer news video. The main topic will be why Liverpool pulled out of negotiations towards signing Matthijs de Ligt. There has been a lot of news articles about Matthijs de Ligt potentially signing for Liverpool, but in the end the reason why Liverpool pulled out is that Matthijs de Ligt's transfer fee was £68 million plus he wanted almost twice the wages that Liverpool's top earners are on. So he wanted something like 350k weekly wages, and for a 19-year-old even I said that that is just too much, and for that price I'm actually not too disappointed that Liverpool didn't sign him. You can't spend a ridiculous amount of money on 19-year-old players. Yes, Matthijs de Ligt is a brilliant player, he's a world-class talent, but I don't think Liverpool should completely flip their wage structure upside down just to sign this guy. If he was as good as somebody like Van Dijk, then I would say the transfer fee and the wages are justifiable, but he's nowhere near that. But he has the potential to become as good as Van Dijk one day. So Juventus in the end secured his signature, and let me know, are you disappointed about Liverpool not signing this guy? And to be honest, now that it looks like Dejan Lovren is staying at Liverpool, Liverpool don't really need a centre-back. We have Van Dijk, Matip, Joe Gomez and Lovren. And who should be the centre-back partnership for the new season? Should it be Van Dijk and Gomez? Should it be Van Dijk and Matip? Or Van Dijk and Lovren? At the moment, I would say if Gomez comes back fully fit, it should be Van Dijk and Gomez for the beginning of the season, just to see how they do. Because at the beginning of last season, these two guys, Van Dijk and Joe Gomez, hardly ever conceded a goal. So I don't think Liverpool particularly are disappointed not to get Matthijs de Ligt, because as I said, his wages are through the roof, and also Ajax could negotiate a brilliant £68 million transfer fee. And I mean, Juventus already have Cristiano Ronaldo and they just got even stronger. They kept all their senior major centre-backs, plus signing Matthijs de Ligt. This is one for the future, and Juventus announced the deal on their Twitter page, saying turn de Ligt on. that's actually quite funny. De Ligt's agent Mino Raiola also doesn't have a good relationship with Jurgen Klopp, because I remember that when Jurgen Klopp sold Balotelli, Raiola said some very nasty, very hurtful things, calling Jurgen Klopp all kinds of names. So I think there is a bad relationship between Raiola and Jurgen Klopp, and maybe that was one of the reasons why Jurgen and Liverpool pulled out of negotiations. But the wages, I mean, de Ligt will be on £11 million per year. That is like 250k weekly wages, plus the add-ons and the bonuses and everything, and it's an astronomical big transfer for Juventus. And actually last month de Ligt revealed that Cristiano Ronaldo asked him to join Juventus after the Nations League final, and that was actually quite funny and interesting to me. This is what de Ligt said in a post-match interview after the Portugal-Netherlands game. Ronaldo asked me to come to Juventus. I was a little shocked by that question, that's why I laughed. I didn't understand him at first. And I think that's maybe one of the reasons why de Ligt signed for Juventus in the end. And also the other reason is that Juventus have a great chance of winning trophies. They will almost certainly win the Serie A, and they have a good chance to go far in the Champions League as well. And I think de Ligt will be one of the great defenders in this era. And maybe in the next 3, 4, 5 years Liverpool could get him, because de Ligt, I can't see him staying at Juventus for his whole career. For the next 15 years this guy will be probably on top of his game, and to go to Italy for a defender is a very good lesson, a very good education in defending, because I think in the Serie A at Juventus they are probably masters of defending most of the time, and the Italian school of defending will teach De Ligt a lot. Maybe in the future he will go to Liverpool, so I'm not ruling that out, because De Ligt is a fan of Liverpool and he's a big fan of Van Dijk, and he said it many times that there is a possibility that that he wants to join the Premier League in the future, so we shall wait and see. And Mark Overmars, the Ajax director of football, who is of course a Dutch former Arsenal player, gave a very interesting interview about this whole De Ligt transfer, so I want to share that with you guys because I think that is fascinating. This is what he said: "It is quite difficult to make a certain policy about a player, about selling a player, because you do not know what is going to happen. That is why I want to create clarity. I want an appointment for a specific date, otherwise we can no longer cooperate. If you don't do that as a club, you are not in the driver's seat, but in the 6th row." So what Overmars is saying here is that in the future they want basically a deadline until a transfer needs to be finalized, because Overmars was complaining that this De Ligt transfer saga has been going on for weeks and weeks and weeks throughout the summer transfer window, and he didn't particularly like that. This is what he said: "I'm glad that it is almost finished, because it just took far too long. It just kept going in the media every day. That makes you a bit tired." After the sale of Frankie de Jong to Barcelona for 86 million euros, Overmars with the transfer of 75 million euros for De Ligt, which is a guaranteed transfer fee without bonuses. So with bonuses it could rise to 80, 85, 90 million euros. That's like 75 million pounds. I think for that price, I mean, you got Van Dijk 18 months ago for 75 million, and now a 19-year-old kid who is as good as De Ligt, I don't think he's worth as much as Van Dijk in today's market. That's just my opinion, but Overmars said this: "We made an agreement with Matthijs last year that we would cooperate and would charge a price in line with the market. Not the top price, but not the bottom either." Then you can always say, who estimates that? I can do that, I get paid for that. In the end, we determined the price. I think the price of Matthijs in the current market, if you see what is being paid for other players, could have been slightly higher than what we ultimately asked for, but that's not the point. Matthijs was so important as a captain last year, and that at his age, that just gives you goosebumps. And I agree with Overmars here. It gives you goosebumps. A Frankie de Jong or a Matthijs de Ligt is of course not found or born every 5 years, but to date the world football market has not diminished. There may also be other players in the current section who are going to make a special transfer, but I don't think it will be obvious that these sums will be achieved. And Dutch football must be happy with Ajax, according to Overmars. He said this: "You always hear Ajax is so powerful and takes over youth players from other clubs, which these clubs themselves do as well. But I think Dutch football should be very happy with Ajax. It drips down from us. Apart from the fact that we will now also pay more to the smaller clubs from the European income, there are plenty of examples of how we let other clubs communicate. I mentioned the youth cooperation with Sparta, a club that we support, and Willem II and RKC Waalwijk, who participate in the transfer of Frankie de Jong. I also know that if I register with SC Heerenveen for a player, I pay more than another club. The price we paid for Pieri, 4 million euros, is a recent example of this. But we still paid for it. The idea behind it is also, go ahead, they can do good things with this money, and if we are decent, they will do business again." And Mark Overmars also said this: "There is one thing to look out for. Whether you have 100 or 150 million euros, it evaporates before you know it. Then people will say, how is that possible? You only have to make a few wrong choices. You have to be constantly focused on that. There will sometimes be unfortunate choices, but the balance must remain positive. We are just now trying to find players one step higher. We need to move heaven and earth to realize that." So I think this was a fascinating interview, and it gave us a little bit of an insight into what Ajax and what Overmars was thinking behind the scenes. I think it's a no-brainer. if De Ligt went to Liverpool or Bayern Munich, it would have been equally a good choice. And I don't remember an Ajax generation where there were so many hugely talented players. I mean, in one transfer window they sold a big player to Barcelona in Frankie de Jong for 85 or 86 million euros, and now they sold De Ligt for 75 million euros to Juventus in the same transfer window. And these guys probably will be major players for Barcelona and Juventus respectively for the next 5, maybe even more years. So I'm actually very excited to see how they will do, especially Frankie de Jong at Barcelona. That will be fascinating. I think De Ligt has a lot of time to develop and improve, and he will not be under massive pressure straight away to perform, because Juventus already have a brilliant centre-back partnership with Chiellini and Bonucci, and they also have other players as well. I'm really looking forward to watching De Ligt and De Jong perform next season, and if they come up against Liverpool, it will be interesting how they can cope with that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and good luck to De Ligt at Juventus. At least he didn't join a Premier League rival. I would have been very disappointed if somebody like Man City or Manchester United signed De Ligt, but that wasn't really on the cards. And I think Jurgen Klopp will keep an eye on De Ligt, because in the future Liverpool could be interested in this guy, because De Ligt said some very big compliments to Liverpool, and he said some very kind words about Liverpool. So it's going to be interesting how this pans out in the next 5, 6, 7 years. And Kiana Hoover, who is another Dutch big talent, not as good as De Ligt, but he's at Liverpool already. And this is what he said about the pre-season games. It's a special experience. I don't think a lot of 17-year-old boys have got it. I'm really thankful for that, and I'm really happy. I'm looking forward to everything on the tour. It's the first pre-season for me, so I just hope to learn a lot of things and have a few minutes in the games. We play against good opponents. Everyone is helping me out. Everyone is giving me tips for things to do better and things I can learn, because I'm still young. Of course, I can speak Dutch, and Verge and Gini Wijnaldum will help a little bit more. Millie also, everyone is helping me a lot. They tell me when something needs to be different, and I learn from it, so that's very good. And Kiana Hoover is a big talent, and I think it's the perfect environment for him, because he can develop under no pressure and learn from some of the best players in the world. I mean, if you are watching Virgil van Dijk in training, that instantly makes you a better player, in my opinion. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of the preseason for Liverpool, and I will be covering it on this channel. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. See you later. Goodbye.